More breaking news and a big round one win for the New York Times. The judge overseeing former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin's defamation lawsuit against the Times said he will dismiss the suit after ruling that Palin's team did not provide sufficient evidence in its case. So he also said he will allow the jury to continue deliberating and reach a verdict, but whatever they come back with, he's still going to dismiss the case. Palin sued the Times in 2017 after they published an editorial that incorrectly linked a map that Palin's political action committee had posted to a shooting in 2011 that killed 6 and injured former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. Joining us now with the latest, CNN chief media correspondent Brian Stelter. Brian, what did the judge have to say about how he came to this decision?
He said he wasn't pleased about this because he was disappointed by the New York Times. He feels like the paper really screwed up with this editorial that you described from 2017. He said this was an example of very unfortunate editorializing on the part of the Times. However, the law here sets a very high standard for actual malice, and that standard has not been met. So basically, Judge Rakoff is saying this trial should not have been allowed in the first place. It should have been thrown out during the initial court proceedings, but the trial did go through, and we heard the presentations from both sides last week, and many legal experts came away with the same conclusion that the judges concluded, that Palin's team simply did not prove what was necessary to meet that really high threshold of actual malice. But the big picture context here, John, is where should the bar be set? Should the bar be set so high? Should it be so hard for public figures who are written about in ways that they are disturbed by to be able to sue and win? Remember 6 years ago, Donald Trump started saying the libel laws in this country should be loosened. Well, Sarah Palin's trying to do that. She's trying to loosen the libel laws to make it easier for politicians and celebrities to sue news outlets. In this case, even though the New York Times has prevailed in round one, it will have round two and round three, and eventually could have serious consequences for libel law.
But again, this isn't about the Times, whether they got it wrong. They did get it wrong. The issue is whether or not there was malice in getting it wrong. And the judge said, no way. You didn't prove that. You didn't come close to proving that. What are both sides saying?
That's right. The New York Times saying this is how it's supposed to work. When we make a mistake and we correct it, you're not supposed to be able to sue and get millions of dollars in damages. So the Times is happy about today's ruling. But as you said, the jury is still deliberating. Whatever the jury decides, it's basically moot. But all of this is going to create a public record for an appeals court process. Some conservative lawyers like to see this go all the way to the Supreme Court, so that those libel laws can be revisited, so that any politician of any party can have more power to try to challenge news outlets in court. Now, that could hurt the Foxes of the world when they go on the air and lie about voter fraud. It could also hurt local newspapers in other ways. So this is a case worth watching, not because it's involving Palin, because it's involving the future of the news business.
It has a lot of significance going forward. Brian Stelter, thanks so much for being with us. Have a great night.